something I've been coming to grips with lately is, people criticize and critique the capitalist system and consumerism and everything like that.
Oh
And
boy.
there's moments where I understand why. I really do. I really do understand why. I sympathize with some of that perspective of, how much is enough? How hungry do they got to be? And how much do we have to feed into that consumerist mindset? But I think where some people's failing is that they just immediately write that whole system off as being the entire system as being evil and vile when you have, jerks exploiting it. I mean, you're going to have jerks exploiting any system, but
Sure.
yeah, but let's analyze and figure out how to navigate and function to the system that we live with, the economic system and consumerism. And so with that in mind, you have to go from a snobby arts student mentality to somebody that's like, I have the tools to make good art. How am I going to make good art for regular and consistent consumption?
I see your point. This is a point of much philosophical discussion, and it has been since, I mean, the dawn of time. Like you can look back at artists like Da Vinci, who spent their days doing commissioned works for rich people of just very basic portraits, and you have to think like, my God, I don't think it's a stretch to say that he knew he was going to his work was going to live on just forever.
Yeah.
And he had to make his money that way. He had to go draw the fat guy in his mansion while he ate turkey or whatever. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. But I remember taking an art appreciation course in college. This was after I left tech school and went back to a nearby university to pick up stuff like art appreciation. But since the dawn of time, people have gone, okay, I'm a creative person with these certain skills. Again, I don't ever want to talk about you unless you're a creative person with technical skills. And artists are certainly included in that. But
Yes.
can I make a side note real quick? What
Yes.
the hell? You would never hear somebody go to an artist and be like, I have an idea for you, and it would be great exposure, and you should draw this thing for me. And you need me to tell you what to draw. I guess there's probably some version of that, but nowhere near what developers get. It's like, you need my creative mind to tell you what to... No, I don't.
Yeah. Same thing goes with musicians. Now that anybody can kind of have a half-assed recording studio in their basement, you get that from your buddies a lot too. You get solicited to do their project, and then like part of the way through this, you're sitting here thinking, "Oh, you really didn't want to do something with me. You wanted me to do your thing."
Yeah. And I pictured somebody going to Da Vinci and being like, you know what you ought to do? And it just struck me funny. But where I was going with that was all along, artists and creative people have had to determine how to flourish within the system that they're in. And
Yes.
obviously artists have been in all sorts of cultures and situations, but yeah, our version of this is how we figure out, I want to make this game, but I have to consider who it's for,
Yep.
what kind of profit I need to make off of it so I can continue doing stuff like this. Is this something where I need to find a way to pay my living expenses for the next 6 months so I can do this around the clock? Do I need to go over to Enterprise and work on their legacy software systems from 9 to 5 and then go home and try to squeeze out 3 hours at the end of the day? It's this whole thing, and a lot of it boils down to this thinking ahead about stuff like marketing and stuff like your audience.
Yep.
The answer to that is, I think a lot of people have gone, and you and I have talked about, I am not going to bag on individual people, but you and I have looked at individual teams making very strange projects, and they spend most of their time going, we made exactly what we wanted to make and exactly what was in our head. Nobody wants it. It's like, yeah, it was a bad
Yes.
idea.
Yes.
Like it wasn't interesting.
Yeah,
And
you were caught up in trying to make a personal statement, but at the end of the day, it's like you can only buy so many copies of your own game for yourself.